Okay. Mm. Okay, how about that? Okay, can you hear an echo? Can you hear an echo? Or is it okay? Yes, you can hear me, or yes, you can hear an echo. Okay, cool. Um, oh my goodness. All right, so, um, basically, I I was just saying that this is a beautiful suite, and it is on pages 52 through 57, and it really is a great set to do home decor. It's really rich and kind of I don't know, has a gallery look, right? So it's kind of sophisticated. You get two different bundles. You don't have to buy everything. You can piecemeal it. And then there's a embossing folder, some embellishments, ribbon, and some 6x6 paper. So I'm just going to really quickly show you the projects because it's a little easier when you can actually see them. So this is one of the stamp sets. And then it has a matching, and this is Gallery Blooms, and it has another um, ah, dies, and there's quite a few of them. This frame's really cool. It does actually cut into two or three different frames, and then it has all of these, and then it also has a couple more, and I'm going to use these tonight. And then the other bundle is the beautiful motifs. Get that out of the way. And this is really great. It's got a lot of great sentiments and some background, which is always kind of fun for great filler for backgrounds. And that has this set of dies that go with it, and also some of the ones that are on this magnetic board I'm going to use tonight to go with this. So that's the stamps bundles. And then it has some paper, which is really pretty, and it's 6x6. But I love scenic paper. This one, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't go as far as I'm concerned. But it's just, it's mapped. Um, but really pretty, subtle, soft colors. And I love the scenery. Super pretty. Lots of florals, great colors and backgrounds. Let's see. I don't know, I guess it would be this way. And this is like the damask. This is like the embossing folder. That's really pretty. I like this one. I love the drawings. I'm so jealous of people that can actually draw. That's so pretty. And this is cool too. You could actually just take and frame these. You don't even have to do anything with them. That's like old school. the florals. But it's really pretty. It's got a lot of range. I love black and white. You can do lots of coloring with that, or just leave it striking as it is, just black and white. So you get a lot. So that's the papers. And then there's an embossing folder, and that looks like this. They're a little bit bigger, obviously, but it's really a pretty folder. And then there is some beautiful ribbon and some embellishments. They're like little florals. Pretty fun. Hard to see. I know, I love the drawings too. It's just so fun. All right, so I just wanted to show you what the product was. And we'll get down to making our card. So it's a pretty basic card, but it is a fun fold. We're gonna use crumb cake as our base. And so that is going to be, I'm going to cut 2 of these at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to cut that. This should be 4 1/4 as well. So there's our 2 pieces. And then we're going to cut our front panel, and this panel is one that we're going to layer on top, and we're going to emboss this piece. So I'm going to cut this one at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go 5 1/4. 5 4. Okay, so that's that panel. And then we're going to have a centerpiece, and we're going to do that. That's going to be 11 by 3. So this is an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet. So I'm actually just going to cut this into a 3-inch strip. And then we're going to take and fold this at 2 inches and 6 1/2. Move this over, it's too long. Okay, so 2 inches. I'm going to score. And at 6 1/2. So I'm going to have to bring out my little arm here. All right. And I think the only other pieces we need are just some scraps to do some embossing. So I think we're done with that. All right. So I'm going to take a white piece here, and we're going to take, actually we'll do the embossing first. So the way the design is on this is the bottom. This is a damask design, and so this is the bottom of it. So if you'll notice, the Stampin' Up! Logo is going this way. So this would be normally how you would load something, but this design is going like this. So when I put my paper in, I want to load my paper in the right direction for my card. If that makes sense. So I'm going to put that in, try to make it a little even so that the design is going to look the same all the way through. All right, so I'm going to run that through real quick. And this is not a 3D folder, so I'm going to just use my regular cutting mats when I run it through. How are you, Sue? It's a gorgeous day today. It's like, ooh, love it. All right, so we have that panel. And then we're going to, oh yeah, and we do need to have a piece of old olive or mossy meadow, and we're going to cut a piece of fern. So I'm going to throw that in the machine here. Right, so we're going to take this out. I need my little best buddy here. It's just one little piece that's hung up. I'm gonna poke this out here. I could use a brush on a like a sponge as well instead of doing it this way, which I don't normally have any issue, but of course I'm gonna now. There's one tiny little thing that did not cut right. There we go. All right, let me get this out of here. Okay, let me get that out. And this we're done with. I love ferns. They're so awesome. And actually, I could have taken a piece of wax paper and run that across the top of the die, and that would help. Really intricate dies, they would come, it would wax up the die against the paper, and then they would not be so sticky. So, and I know when I did this card, I had to do a lot of them, and so I was doing that. I did think about it for just one card. I was like, it's okay. Normally, this isn't this picky. All right. Okay. Guess I should have went through another time. Alrighty, we got this thing finally together. There we go. All right, and so then we're going to do our stamping. And so I just took a scrap of paper here, and we're going to ink up our pad here, our stamp. And I'm using the Memento on a nice dark image, and I'm going to use blends. And the blends are alcohol based, so they won't interfere with this. So I'm going to stand up so I can get a good impression here. Alrighty, and then I'm also going to do our smaller image, and it's another floral. And I'm just going to do that right here. Save some paper. All right. Yeah, that'll look okay. Alrighty, and let's see. I think that's all we need for that. And so I'm going to do some coloring. And I'm going to use the blends, and the colors that I'm going to use are the peach pie, the light and the dark, and the mossy meadow. And then I'm also going to use what's it called? The Color Lifter. And so, actually, I can just remove myself from here. But this is the Color Lifter, and so when you use that, it does what it says. It lifts the color up, so you can get some other definition of color doing that. So let's do that. I'm going to start with my light colors. Some people, it's kind of a preference. Some people like to do it with the dark colors first. I like to go the light. I do the light, and then I do the dark, and then I go once again over with the light. Oh my gosh, I am dog sitting, and my dog has been so over the top. I mean, I thought he barked a lot before, but So because I made this card actually for a swap, so I really used this marker up really well. Might have to get another one. Normally, I would probably let this sit because I just stamped it. I would let the ink sit just a little bit longer before I started coloring, but just to speed it up, I'm going to dig right in and start coloring. And I'm going to do the same colors with these little buds. All right, and then I'm going to go in with the dark peach pie, and I'm going to do some accents. And you know, the great thing about stamps is, you know, they already put a lot of the accents already in the stamp itself. So I'm just kind of following the artwork, and then just kind of on my own discretion, just kind of adding some color here and there. And then when I go over again with my light color, it'll blend these, so these won't look so stark. Some of them are the coloring I'm doing, if that makes sense. But it gives the flowers a lot more dimension when you use your darks as well. So I'm going to go in here then, and I'm going to kind of blend again, and that softens this so they don't look so, looks more natural, I guess. See how that just kind of removes the outside line, and it's of where the dark color is, and it just blends it in better. And then to get another look, I can add the lifter as well. I'm going to use that primarily, I think, on the green, because the green is, a little darker color. So I think by adding the color lifter to that, you can really see the difference. Also, color lifters are actually, like, if you go out of the line, and it's a way to correct any mistakes in your coloring. So that's another reason why we have color lifters. It's kind of like an eraser. Does anybody else like coloring? I do. I do love this drawings. I love the there's certain styles of artwork that I like better, right? So some stamp sets, they just really speak to me because I love the actual style that they were drawn in. So now I'm going to put in some dark, and oh no, the neighbor dogs are starting to bark, which means mine's going to start barking. I'm telling you. Having 3 dogs lately, I'm getting really tired of dogs. I don't know. Now see here, I went out of the line a little bit. I'm going to use the other side. So I'm going to use this to get rid of that. And then I'm going to take, and I'm just going to remove some of this. See how that kind of lightens it up and highlights the leaves. Alrighty, that's pretty good. So I think we will cut those out. So I'm going to do that real quick. I hope my sound problem, because that was part of what happened to my computer, was the sound piece. And so I'm not real sure what's going on there, but I know I was having problems a few weeks ago with the sound. So I'm hoping that's not coming back. I was just starting to feel like I wasn't having problems anymore with that. But all right, just about done here. Alrighty. I did that a little off. I hate that when that happens. All right, I think we have our pieces, and then we're also going to do our center panel here. So I'm going to do a couple things. So this is the top, and this is the bottom. So the bottom is going to fold over. So I'm going to do my crease lines and use my burnishing tool here, my bone. I'm going to go back this way, and that's going to be our center mechanism. But what I'm also going to do is in the bottom corner, I'm going to use the dies that I was talking about that actually it pops up. It does not actually cut and remove a piece. It just pops up the design. So I'm just going to stick this in the corner here, and I'm going to run that through the machine real quick. It will make a little more sense. Let me see what I mean. It has been a crazy kind of week. I'm just kind of like, ugh, I'm kind of discombobulated again. And then my computer didn't work, and this is ripping the paper. I'm not happy with that. So I think I might start all over again with this one panel. We'll see. We'll see when I get this out of here. I used some tape to keep the die in place, and that ripped this side of the panel. So I may just start another panel real quick. nonetheless, I got creative. You don't really see it too much. Okay, so you know what I see what I mean? This is not really cut out of the paper, but it is actually raised. So isn't that a cool look? So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to stick that in between here, and I'm going to go around the edges and do some daubering with a dauber and the peach pie ink. And I'm just going to add some color, making sure that I don't go on to the rest of the card. And I'm just going to work this around the whole design. Move that out of the way before I stick my hand in the ink. Would not put it past me. That's why it's caught on that. But it's just a nice way to make this pop. And then I'm going to go in here and do the same. And this one, I'm going to go in here too. Since I got the other side a little inky, I got to be consistent, right? All right. Whoops. And I got to do this piece right here. All right, so that makes that pop just a little bit and show. And so since I've got my pieces here, let's do some stamping of our panel. And so I think I'm going to do, which one is this? This is You've Been on My Mind. So I'm taking a piece of the designer series paper. I have one left over here. Here he is. And so this was a way that I used to keep good, because I did make a bunch of these. I used a smaller piece of paper. I figured out how many pieces I could get with the paper I had. So I needed to make 21 cards. So I made this a 3-inch by 2-inch, I think. Yeah, it was 2 inches. And that gave me enough to complete all the cards that I needed. So I'm going to just take and stamp You've Been on My Mind on the middle of this. Try to get it as E in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to attach this to my middle panel. And I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure that it's, I'm going to stand up because I can't see very well. So I'm just going to stick this in the center. Oops, I'm off a little bit. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to take, let's see, I want to do a sentiment here. So I'm going to do thank you for everything. I'm going to do that here. Oops. All right, and then we're just going to take our little flowers that we did. I'm going to put this little guy right on the side here. Just thought that kind of fit cute. So I'm going to do that. And because it's on the inside of my card, I'm just going to do it, you know, as a flat. Whoops. I'm just going to stick that about here. All right, so we have our inside panel done. And then we're going to take and assemble, whoops, get that out of here. Then we're going to take and assemble this. Now I'm going to take, because, I mean, I love this folder by itself. It's great. But I love the fact that if I sand it down on top, it will make it like crushed velvet. So I kind of like that. So I think I'm just going to sand my paper and break down those fibers. Close up my ink here because I know me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath. And then I'm just going to go up and down and sand it. Now, if you could feel this right now, this is so soft. It's like velvet. And this is crispy. And you can see that there is, maybe you can't on the camera, but there is a difference in the look. You know, this is a crisper look. This is a softer look. See, it even looks kind of like velvet, and it feels like velvet. So, you know, some people don't maybe like that, but I thought it was cool. It reminds me of old house things. Because this whole street kind of reminds me of, you know, just old mansions or something. I don't know. I don't know. It just has that feel to me. So if I feel this now, this is just soft. But you still can see the design. It's still there. I just took and, you know, broke down the fibers. And so actually these are now a little lighter than they were before. So that's just something that you can try. I really like the look sometimes, how that is. Turns out it feels super soft. And it's easy to do. So we're going to take that panel now, and I'm going to take this and adhere it to, kind of shaking it because I got some fibers still. So I'm going to take this and add it to my front panel. All right. And you want to make sure on this particular embossing folder that your design is the correct way. It's very similar looking, but the bottom, you know, the leaves are, you know, facing the right way in the bottom. So, okay, and so then I'm going to take and adhere this fern, and I'm not too concerned if the whole thing gets glued, because as long as there's enough of it and it stays secure, that's good enough. So, oop, gosh, this is really coming out. So I'm just going to put some dots of glue around. Doesn't have to be everywhere, just enough to stay on the paper. Oh gosh, I thought I was doing the wrong side. I'm just kind of picking the whitest places. And I'm not really concerned too much about the stems, because the way we're going to arrange this, we're going to have another flower on top of it, so that's okay. So I'm just going to take and grab. I kind of like it going at an angle. Okay, so I'm just going to pat that down. Hold it in place for just a minute. All right. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to pop up our flowers here. Whoops. I love this sweet though. I love the colors. I love all the options. Whoops. There's a piece in here I didn't get out. There we go. So funny. Some days I use tons of dimensionals, and other days I'm like, yeah, not so much. Today I must want a lot of them. All right. Yeah, it feels like fabric too, Sue. It's awesome. It's just really, really fun. Oops. Trying to hurry because I feel like someone is getting restless. You know who I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to stick that about here. All right, so now we have that. And then I think I'm going to also, now when I cut my papers, when I was using to do my center, they're 3-inch panels, and so I had some 3-inch, you know, parts left because I had to, you know, work for whatever reason anyway. But so I decided to do a simple banner, so I just stamped hello, and I'm just going to take and use my scissors and just cut a slant on each end. All right, And then I'm just going to pop these also up on dimensionals. And I don't like how I must have cut this or stamped it on the opposite side of where the cut. I stamped on the wrong side, I guess, is a better way to say that. I don't like how it had a rough edge, so I'm sanding that so that it becomes a smooth edge. And now you can't tell that I stamped on the wrong side. All right. So I'm going to pop these up on dimensionals. I lost my dimensionals. Here we are. All right. And I'm going to stick that about right here. And then I think I'm going to put some, now I could use the little embellishments that come in here. I'll do that. Wow, these are heavy. Ouch. I just stabbed myself. All right, I'm going to stick one up here. Stick one down here. And just for the heck of it, Alrighty, so that's going to be the front of our card. And now we're just going to assemble it. So we have, actually, I'm not liking how this is sticking up. So I'm going to add just a smidgen. Whoa, that was a lot of glue. Alright, so I'm going to hold that down so we keep some glue. I got glue all over my fingers. Okay, so that's better. All right, let me wipe this stuff off. I totally stuck my finger in it. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to fold this like this. And this is our front and this is our back of our card. So we're going to take and center this. So I'm going to take and I'm going to adhere my glue to the back panel. And I want to be close to the edge, obviously, so that it stays in place. But I want it also by the design. And then I also have this little corner here that I'm going to have to glue down too. So I'm going to do that just with a little bit of liquid glue. And that way, it's going to stay. So I'm going to fold this back up so that I know where my whole piece is, because I'm going to have to center this when I put this down. So get this out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to just center it. Okay. And then I'm going to pop this up a little bit. And it'll go back down again, of course, when we close the card. But all right. And then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just going to actually adhere just this part. And then I'm going to lay these on top of each other, corner to corner. Whoops. I went and moved it. All right. And there you have our card. Isn't that pretty? I love the colors and I love this card layout. It'll fit nicely in an envelope, but it's just kind of a fun card. So it's hello, you've been on my mind. Thank you for everything. And then the one I made originally was this one, which is just a little different only because of the rhinestones. And I put this one on upside down, which I didn't realize. It still works, I guess, but I see that it's upside down. It bothers me. And this is the right way. So, let's see. So I hope that inspired you. They're pretty cards, super easy to make, and I hope you like the technique of sanding. It does feel like velvet. It's pretty cool. I love that. And it is a fun fold, very easy. And it doesn't take a lot of time either. So sorry about the whole sound thing. And yeah, the one time Leo doesn't bark and act up, I don't have sound. Yeah, go figure. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that it was a fun card to see, and I hope you make one. It's just works with any kind of stamp set or anything. So, but it's pretty. So with that, have a great week, and I will see you next week. Take care. Thanks for watching.